Hi, I'm Jim Ramsey from Aletheia Counseling and GreatMarriages.net. I'd like to take just a moment and talk about what you can expect if we work together in doing marriage counseling, because different therapists have different approaches. For example, most therapists do mostly individual therapy and do some marriage counseling because there's such a great need for it. And a lot of them have more of a psychological background and a psychological approach. With a psychological model, the tendency is to want to diagnose the client and see what the problems are and try to solve their problems. Frankly, I don't like to take that kind of approach. I like a more educational model where we assume that if you're having problems, it's not because you have some deep, dark psychological issue, but it's really because you don't know something or haven't learned something, or maybe you've learned some things that don't work. And so our focus here is to take a short-term direct approach to addressing areas that are not working and just give you new skills and new insights as to how to relate to each other. Now granted, maybe you bring luggage. Most people have some luggage that they bring into the relationship, and yeah, maybe you have some kind of a diagnosable whatever, but that's not our focus. Our focus is here and now and how to relate more effectively. One of the things that really helps us in our approach is the fact that I'm a Gottman therapist and I rely on their 35 years of research on why marriages succeed or fail. In fact, I was the first Gottman therapist certified and licensed in the state of Montana, and there are only 2 of us now. But what we do with that approach is we give you an initial assessment, both a subjective assessment coming from a live interview that I have with you together and individually, and also you fill out inventories. That gives me objective information, and then I combine the two and give you a marital assessment and tell you where your strengths are and where your challenges are. Basically, what we'll do is compare the dynamics of your relationship with the research, and you'll see that in some areas you're strong and your data compares with those that stayed married and were happy in the research. Other areas you'll find that you have challenges that are similar to what the people that had failed marriages have. And I might say this really tends to motivate people because you can see clearly what you're doing wrong and you're motivated to work on it. And it's not that hard to work on. The other thing that's very important for you to realize is that in the research of the Gottman Institute, they found that marriage counseling has a terrible recidivism rate. That means within a couple of years, they're back to their old habits and they're even more discouraged than they were before. And after checking this, they said, well, let's look at the educational therapy model. Let's see the people that were learning communication skills, how they did. Well, they found out there was quite a bit of backsliding even for those folks, going back to their old patterns. And so what we decided was that they were learning things in the counselor's office that for them were unnatural, and they would do it in the office but not do it at home. And so the Gottman approach focuses on helping you tweak your relationship in ways that you can continue to use because it's yours. We make changes that are yours and nothing unnatural is expected of you. And so as you learn how to talk more effectively, listen more effectively, and be more tuned into each other, those changes will be permanent. Here's the good news. If both of you love each other and both of you want to have a good marriage, you can have a good marriage. I've been doing this for over 35 years, about 30 couples a week. I've been married 44 years myself. And I'm here to tell you, if there's no affair and the 2 of you really want to have a good marriage, you can have one. I'm looking forward to meeting you and working with you to that end.